Lahat ng drama, lahat ng tawanan, lahat ng iyong all-time hits. Ang tanging huntahan ng Masang Lamaw. Number 1 sa Mega Manila, nationwide pa. Broadcasting from TGON, TVH Group of Networks. Dito lang sa inyong iisang himpilan. Kool FM. You are listening to Kool FM, live from Kool Studios. This is koolNews at noon.
Luzon, Visayas, and Mindanao, it is now 12 p.m. noon time. This is koolNews at noon. I'm Stephen Liwanag del Sol. Senate Minority Leader Aquilino Pimentel III on Saturday threatened to push for the abolition of the Philippine Amusement and Gaming Corporation, or PAGCOR, if it refuses to fully comply with the President Ferdinand Marcos Jr.'s directive to shut down all Philippine offshore gaming operators, or POGOs. He said in a radio interview, follow President Marcos' instruction to the letter, the Senate might repeal the presidential decree that created you if you will conquer demand the instruction of your principal, the president, by hiding behind the new initials you invented. The opposition senator said he was informed that PAGCOR may claim that Mr. Marcos' announcement during his third speech SONA only covered POGOs and not internet gaming licensees. The state gaming regulator had been using the term IGLs for offshore gaming establishments authorized to operate in the country. Pimentel said, we feel that PAGCOR would muddle the issue because they changed the name of FOGO to IGL. Don't do that because we will really get mad at you and we will not stop from investigating. A day after President received positive response from legislators for his decision to put an end on POGOs, PAGCOR Chair Alejandro Tencos told the House of Representatives the ban will include the remaining 43 IGLs. Tencos said at the joint hearing on the House Committee on Public Order and Safety and Committee on Games and Amusement, he said he cannot wind up. The President's orders are clear. I'm instructing PAGCOR to wind down the operations of all POGOs. Tencos said at the joint hearing of the House Committee on Public Order and Safety and Committee on Games and Amusement. He said, I cannot wind down the operations of illegal POGOs because those are not within my jurisdiction. But the 43 in my jurisdiction, that's clear. I will wind them down. I will follow the President's orders. Despite Tencos' assurance, Pimentel reiterated there was no need for the President to issue an executive order for PAGCOR to implement his directive. What he said during the SONA was very clear. What the President did at the end of his speech was very good because he saved the best for last. I was actually teasing Tenko that you run after Pogo so that you will be handsome, he added. Pogos, which first during the Duterte administration initially started as gaming facilities, catering mostly to residents of mainland China. Authorities later discovered Pogo hubs have become venues of cybercrimes, human trafficking, and physical abuse. The Philippine Red Cross renewed its appeal to the donor community and the general public to continue supporting its emergency relief and rehabilitation efforts, this time for the victims of the Super Typhoon Karina. The PRC issued the call on Saturday as it reported the full mobilization of its volunteers and resources for simultaneous relief operations in areas affected by severe flooding in Metro Manila and other regions due to the monsoon rains enhanced by the typhoon. As of Friday afternoon, the PRC Operations Center had recorded 114,619 displaced individuals who are currently staying in 586 evacuation centers in Metro Manila, Ilocos Norte, Ilocos Sur, Iloilo, Batangas, Nasugbo, Cagayan, Occidental Mindoro, Bulacan, and Rizal Province. Over 500 individuals have received assistance and more than 400 were rescued by PRC Emergency Response Unit in Manila, Malabon, Quezon City, Mandaluyong, San Juan, and Valenzuela, Rizal Province, and Zambales. Multi-purpose response trucks, ambulance units, and food trucks have been mobilized in Metro Manila, while rescue boats were sent to Quezon City, Valenzuela, Caloocan, Malabon, and Marikina. The PRC water search and rescue teams have also been activated to rescue individuals trapped in their homes, stuck on roofs, and other elevated areas due to knee and chest deep flooding. Around 21,500 individuals have since received hot meals delivered by Red Cross volunteers to families in evacuation centers while clean water has been distributed by the PRC's Water, Sanitation and Hygiene Unit to 129 families in Cavite. Convening a meeting earlier Monday on July 24 as the first effects of Karina were being felt, PRC Chair and Chief Executive Officer Dick Gordon ordered the immediate deployment of manpower, emergency vehicles, and equipment, as well as 24/7 assessment and monitoring of all on-the-ground activities. A PRC statement quoted Gordon as saying, "The Philippine Red Cross, I immediately mandated our 102 chapters to mobilize the Red Cross 143 volunteers because we don't want people to die. If you need assistance, contact our operation centers right away by calling 143. This is a dangerous storm. I pray for everyone's safety." A PRC statement quoted Gordon as said. The PRC Secretary General Gwen Pang said the Red Cross remains prepared and equipped to respond to all kinds of emergencies throughout this rainy season. Pang reminded the public to always have a so-called go bag ready, non-perishable food, water, flashlight, first aid and hygiene kits, clothes, and other essential goods for at least 72 hours, which they can easily take should they need to leave their homes during an emergency. Public school teachers, many of whom leave the service in low-level positions, now have the opportunity to boost their careers through new teaching administrative positions created by DepEd. But according to a teachers group, these positions will have a limited impact on school teachers because the shortage of teachers as well as their heavy workload remain serious disincentives in their work. Education Secretary Sori Angara, in a ceremony on Friday, signed the implementing rules and regulations institutionalizing the career progression policy, Executive Order number 174, which then President Rodrigo Duterte issued in 2022. According to DepEd, President BBM had endorsed that the order to the department and also referred to it in his son last Monday, saying no teacher should retire in their low-level position of Teacher 1. Under the new IRR, the new positions of Teacher 4 and 6, Teacher 7 rather, will have salaries grade 14 to 17 or monthly salaries of 33 to 46,000 pesos. Another new position, Master Teacher 5, will be given to salary grade 22 or about 71,000 to 79,000. Also created were the positions of school principals 1 to 4. Within these positions, school administrators occupying a total of 140,000 posts would be available for promotion by next year. Budget Secretary Amena Panganaman, who was at Friday's signing, said her agency will allocate 6.1 billion for the EO's full implementation by next year at the latest. The Teachers Dignity Coalition Chair Benjo Basas, who also attended the signing ceremony, acknowledged that EO 174 is one of the long-standing advocacies of his group. But in an interview with reporters on Friday, he also noted the real problem that forces teachers to leave is the amount of work they have to do, and most of those tasks are non-teaching related. Aside from hiring more staff, giving teachers a substantial salary increase would help resolve dissent among teachers that they do not see any progress in their lives in our country. Basa said. Pangadaman said teachers also are due to get a pay hike under the salary standardization law 6, although that proposal is still pending in the Senate. 2 of the 4 pending Senate bills authored by Jingo Estrada and Ramon Revilla Jr. respectively seek to raise the entry-level salary of public school teachers by 2,700. These salaries are currently at around 27,000. Basas maintained that teachers would need a pay increase of at least 15,000 pesos. There are more than 900,000 teachers employed in about 47,000 public schools nationwide. Coming up later on koolNews at noon, China warns the Philippines of resolute response in the South China Sea. Another heartbreaking news, 12 dead, many in critical condition after Hezbollah rocket hits soccer field in Druze town. The Israeli town. While 17 Filipinos in Yemen are okay even after the strikes. Also later for sports, the good, bad, and the ugly of the 2024 Paris Olympics. More on this later. And Rukia Anpo towers over Manny Pacquiao at the official weigh-in for exhibition match. We will return after a break. China will respond resolutely to any violation by the Philippines of a recent deal to calm tensions between the two countries in the South China Sea, its top diplomat told his Filipino counterpart, Beijing said Saturday. Manila is locked in the long-standing territorial row with Beijing over parts of the strategic waterway through which trillions of dollars worth of trade passes annually. Last week, the two sides agreed to a provisional arrangement for resupply missions to Filipino troops stationed at Second Thomas Shoal, which has been the focus of violent clashes in the recent months. Wang Yi called on the Philippines to honor its commitments under the deal rather than backtracking or creating app complications, according to a readout of his meeting with Philippine Foreign Secretary Enrique Manalo at the ASEAN Gallery in Laos. Meanwhile, some heartbreaking news. At least 9 young drug Israelis died, and many more were in the critical condition after a Hezbollah rocket hit the majority Jewish northern Israeli town, Majid al-Shams. Hezbollah's rocket hit a soccer field in the northern Israeli town of Majid al-Shams, leaves 9 casualties aged 10 to 20 in the critical condition. This is a developing story. Meanwhile, the 17 Filipino seafarers in the custody of Houthi rebels were unharmed during the Israeli military's recent strikes on the Houthi-controlled port of Hodeidah in Yemen. President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. in a post on this X account on Saturday, the Philippine embassy in Riyadh reported all 17 seafarers of the Galaxy leader cargo ships are safe in Hodeidah. He said, "I wish to assure their loved ones in the Philippines that our government has not forsaken them, and we are doing everything to secure their safe return home." He renewed the Philippines' call for a speedy resolution of the conflicts in the Middle East so that no more lives may be lost and all can live in peace. Last month, Migrant Workers Secretary Hans Kakdak said the government, through the Department of Foreign Affairs, is working with the foreign governments to secure the release of the 17 Filipinos. Meanwhile, in the as the Paris Olympics begins, 16 days of amazing talents and sports coming from our Filipino athletes. Another trend, Kansas City Chief kicker Harrison Butker slammed the Paris Olympics opening ceremony after one of the performances included drag queens, among other performers parodying The Last Supper. He went viral. The Kansas City Chiefs kicker went viral back in May for sharing his faith-based views during a commencement speech at a Catholic college in Kansas. Took to social media sharing his take. He also quoted some of the scriptures from that be not deceived, God is not mocked. In the city of the post shared by Butker on his social media, several drag queens and other performers can be seen mocking the scene, famously painted by Leonardo da Vinci, which depicts Jesus and his apostles sharing a final meal before the crucifixion. The performance, which also included a young child, drew harsh criticism. Other acts during the opening ceremony also received mixed reviews from viewers on social media. In one scene, a woman and 2 men were seen embracing, seemingly suggesting a marriage entree. A headless depiction of Marie Antoinette, the last queen prior to the French Revolution, also received criticism. Thomas Jolly, the artistic director of the opening ceremony, said the inspiration behind all the performances was to reinterpret the way the world sees France. According to the Olympics website, he said, "The extraordinary thing is that everyone in France and the rest of the world has an idea for what France is all about. And I want to play with that. That's where I want to start from, breaking down the cliches, because cliches come along other things." Quite a chaotic situation in the Olympics ceremony. Despite all this, another good news from Carlos Yulo as he qualifies for a medal in 3 events in artistic gymnastics on Saturday. finishing strong in floor exercise, the vault, and individual all-around of the men's division in the Paris Olympics 2024. He stayed at the 8th place in the all-around rankings after Subdivision 2 with a total score of 83,631 points. The top 24 after Subdivision 3 will advance to the finals. Yulo also finished strong in the floor, exercise, and vault, putting him in a medal contention for both apparatuses. A total of 14,766 points, Yulo finished second after Subdivision 2, behind Great Britain's Jake Jarman with 14,966. Yulo was further down in vault as he ended up sixth with 14,683 points. The top 8 in apparatuses will advance to the final. Yulo's worst showing of the night came in the bars apparatus, where he tallied just 13 points to land at the 35th spot of the event. The 24-year-old Filipino also ranked 28th in pommel horse, 13,066 points, 21st in horizontal bars, 13,466, and 70th in the parallel bars, 14,53 points. Yulo is out of the podium race in those events. The official list of finalists will be known after the last batch of gymnasts compete in the Subdivision 3 on Sunday. Rower Johnny Delcaco kicked off Team Philippines campaign in the Paris Olympics 24 on Saturday in France. He got off to a strong start, but faltered in the end to finish in 4th place in the women's singles sculls heat at Nautical Street Flatwater. The 26-year-old Delgaco, the first Filipino rower to qualify for the Olympics, reached the finish line with a time of 7 minutes and 56 seconds, 23 milliseconds. The Netherlands' Caroline Florigin topped the event at 77 minutes 36.90, while Sweden's Aurelia Maxima Jansen finished second at 7 minutes 41.15, and Slovenia's Dina Kosanjek rounded out the top 3 at 7 minutes and 46.30 seconds. Delgaco burst out of the scene in Heat 2 with an explosive start that saw her take the lead in 3rd place early. For the majority of the race, Delgaco tried her best to keep the Slovenian at the bay, but to no avail, as Kosanjek eventually took over the 3rd place. Despite falling short, Delgaco, who was a volleyball player before fully committing to rowing, still remains in podium contention after being relegated to the repechage round set on Sunday. Also, another additional bad news for the opening ceremony. The International Olympic Committee apologized Saturday for a gaffe during the opening ceremony of the Paris Olympics, in which the South Korean athletes were incorrectly introduced as North Korean. As the South Korean delegations sailed down the Seine River in the French capital, they were introduced with the official name for North Korea, République Populaire Démocratique de Corée in French, then called as Democratic People's Republic of Korea in English. The IOC said in a post on its original Korean language X account, "We deeply apologize for the mistake that occurred when introducing the South Korean team during the broadcast of the opening ceremony. This error sparked displeased reactions in South Korea, a global cultural and technological powerhouse that is technically still at war with the nuclear-armed impoverished North." The sports ministry in South Korea said in a statement it expresses regret over the announcement during the opening ceremony of the 2024 Paris Olympics, where the South Korean delegation was introduced as the North Korean team. Second Vice Sports Minister Jang Miran, a 2008 Olympic weightlifting champion, has asked for a meeting with IOC Chief Thomas Bach to discuss the matter, it added. The country's foreign ministry said in a statement it had contacted the French embassy in Seoul, Korea, which expressed regret over what is said was an incomprehensible mistake. South Korea's National Olympic Committee also plans to meet with the Paris Olympics Organizing Committee and the IOC to voice their protests, request measures to prevent a recurrence, and send an official letter of protest under the name of the head of its delegation, Seoul's sports ministry said. North Korea was correctly introduced with the country's official name. Relations between the two Koreas are at one of the lowest points in years, with the North bolstering military ties with Russia while sending thousands of trash-carrying balloons to the South. In response, Seoul's military blasts K-pop and anti-regime messages from border loudspeakers and recently resumed live fire drills on border islands and near the demilitarized zone that divides the Korean peninsula. China took the first gold of the Paris Olympics on Saturday as the rain that dampened the opening ceremony took its toll on the first full day of sporting action. In a closely fought final of the mixed team 10-meter air rifle, teenage duo Sheng Li Hao and Huang Yuting outscored Kiyoom Jin Hyun and Park Ha-jun from South Korea 16-12, Kazakhstan grabbing the bronze. The air already claimed one sporting casualty earlier Saturday as the wet weather which deluged Friday night's audacious festival on the River Seine continued to cause headaches. The men's street skateboarding competition due to take place at the Place de la Concorde in the historic heart of Paris was postponed until Monday due to rain overnight. The downpours also disrupted the play at the opening rounds of tennis at Roland Garros, with no action on the 10th are covered outside courts until 1:38 local time or 11:30 GMT, organizers said. Finally, Manny Pacquiao's ring return is official after he successfully made weight for his boxing exhibition against Rukia Anpo at the West in Tokyo on Saturday in Japan. Pacquiao at 45 tipped the scale of 68.05 kilograms, while the lanky Anpo came in at already 68.7 kilograms. They will clash on Sunday at the Saitama Super Arena. Pacquiao at the 62-82-2 with 39 knockouts, retired from professional boxing in 2021 after suffering an unanimous decision loss at the hands of Lourdes Ugas. His upcoming fight will be his second exhibition after retirement, the first being in December 2022 against South Korean martial law artist TKU. Before we close up for the cool news at noon, oh my goodness, it's 12:30 p.m. Philippine Standard Time. We conclude with the words from G.K. Chesterton. Christianity has died many times and risen again, for it had a God who knew the way out of the grave. And in Revelations chapter 19, verse 12 to 15, his eyes were as a flame of fire, and on his head were as many crowns, and he had a name written that no man knew, but he knew himself. And he was clothed with a vesture dipped in blood, and his name is called the Word of God. And the armies which were in heaven followed him upon white horses, clothed in fine linen and white and clean. And out of his mouth goeth a sharp sword, that with it he should smite the nations. And he shall rule them with a rod of iron, and he treaded the winepress of the fierceness and the wrath of the Almighty God. That is all for the cool news at noon. We will return later exactly at 4 p.m. Philippine Standard Time with the participating anchors. I'm Stephen Limonag del Sol. Happy Lord's Day, and God bless the Philippines.